All right, well, thank you for allowing me to present this information to you. You know, the old approach to dieting said, well, we need to eat less food. Let's get out the calorie charts. Let's get out the food scales. Well, that gets old by Wednesday. I mean, you're ready to eat the sofa. And it hasn't really worked so well because weight tends to rebound. So as time goes on, people have abandoned those processes and they focus more on the type of food we eat and the meal patterns and how we eat. And that's been useful. And what we've learned, probably the biggest theme is less chicken, more chickpeas. Going more toward a plant-based diet is a good idea, or going toward a totally plant-based diet, best of all. And when we have looked for data in this regard, we've seen some impressive results from observational studies. Take, for example, the Adventist Health Study 2, where researchers looked at Seventh-day Adventists, who is everybody's favorite research population because it's a huge number of non-smoking, teetotaling, health-conscious people. And what they found is that diet patterns matter. If you looked at non-vegetarians, omnivores, their body mass index was 28.8, so in the overweight range. Semi-vegetarians, a little skinnier. Pesco-vegetarian, what's that? Okay, pesco meaning fish, okay, but no other meat. A little skinnier. And the green bar here is lacto-ovo-vegetarians, lacto for milk, ovo for eggs. And of course, sometimes I run into a person who says, well, I'm pretty much vegetarian, but I do eat milk and eggs and fish and some chicken. And I call them the lacto, ovo, pesco, polo vegetarians. In other words, they're not vegetarian at all. But the final group here in the Adventist Health Study 2 was the vegan group, and their body mass index was so much lower than the average person. They were actually the only group in the healthy BMI range. And the difference here, comparing an omnivore or non-vegetarian to a typical vegan, is about a 35-pound difference. So impressive. Okay, so fair enough. That's where we are now. The news is that certain foods actually are better than others. That yes, plant-based foods are always better, but there are certain foods that are more powerful than others. And to take an obvious example of not all foods are created equal, take a potato versus potato chips. Are they the same? No, of course not. A potato, innocent, fairly low-calorie food. Potato chips, you've got a lot of grease and salt added. Okay, or white bread, whole grain bread. Are they the same? No, the whole grain bread has all the fiber. That's good. Okay, so there are all kinds of foods. They vary dramatically in their effect on health. Certain ones stand out. I'm talking about not just the pattern, but the individual specific food. And if you take that specific food and you build it into your routine, reaching your weight loss goals is that much easier. Certain foods are much better than others for weight loss. That's what I want to focus on today. Okay, I'm going to call them power foods. Power foods either tame your appetite, they trap calories so that you cannot absorb them, or they boost your metabolism so that you're burning calories faster after the meal. And we're going to go through all that today. And I want to start with this one. This is a blueberry. This is a bunch of blueberries. And the reason I'm showing you blueberries is Harvard researchers did a cool study. It was 2015, and they did a really important thing. They tracked the diets of more than 100,000 people. And they noticed that the more people would eat of certain foods, the more weight loss was associated with that as time went on. And in other words, this is the opposite of what you think. You think, if I don't care what it is, if I eat more of it, I'm going to be gaining weight. That's not what they found. They found that certain specific foods, if you ate more of them, they were associated with weight loss as the years went by. Okay, the top of the list. I'm going to show you more of the weight loss foods, but number one I want to start with berries. That was the top of the weight loss list. And of course, berries, that includes blueberries, great. But that would also include something like a strawberry or a raspberry or a blackberry, and even a berry in a muffin, as long as a tablespoon of butter didn't get melted into it. So berries. What the heck about berries? If I eat more berries, will I lose weight? Well, what is it that you notice about a blueberry? What you notice is that it's blue. And the blue color comes from anthocyanins. These are antioxidants that are in the berry, and they're there to protect the berry. Okay. But they also come in a variety of other colors. The red anthocyanins are in strawberries, and even in the autumn leaves, there are different colors of anthocyanins. Okay, pro tip, don't eat the leaves. The strawberries, blueberries, okay. So after that association came out in the Harvard study, researchers in the UK did a really cool study. They brought in 2,734 identical twins. Yes, they did. And everybody got a DEXA scan. That's a machine that scans your body, dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. It shows us how much body fat do you have, and where is it on your body. It gives us your body composition. And what they discovered was really cool. They discovered that the twin with the higher anthocyanin intake had less overall body fat, but 9% abdominal fat specifically, compared with her genetically identical sister. Okay, so in Harvard, blueberries associated, and other berries, associated with weight loss as the years go by. In the Harvard study, same story, keeping genetics absolutely constant. And so we're seeing other evidence suggesting the same kind of thing. Now, it could be just an association. It could be a different kind of cause and effect. Maybe the anthocyanins are a marker for a high fiber, low glycemic index food. Fair enough, could be. Or the anthocyanins could be a metabolism booster, or it could be all of these things. But the point is that anthocyanins aren't just in a blueberry. Yeah, we love blueberries, but they're in strawberries, raspberries. The red blush in a pear, that's an anthocyanin. Grapes, same story. You see that color. So these pigments are there to draw us in, and they'll pay you back. But it's not just berries, is it? Let's take cinnamon for a second. Cinnamon is a wonderful spice. It contains a chemical, an aldehyde chemical, which researchers, let's face it, researchers are not good at naming things. You know, researchers, well, what can you say? Conservative, bow tie wearing, not necessarily the most creative people in the world. So when they came up with an aldehyde in cinnamon, they named it cinnamaldehyde. It's the best they could do. So the point is that it increases metabolism, apparently. You have in your digestive tract wall something called the transient receptor potential anchorin 1 receptor, TRPA1 receptor. It's sitting there, waiting for you to put some cinnamon on your morning oatmeal. And when you do, the cinnamaldehyde comes out, and it goes down your digestive tract. It attaches to this TRPA1 receptor, and it causes a little increase of adrenaline, which in turn boosts your metabolism. Don't worry, it's a modest effect. You will not have to be peeled off the ceiling, but this is why cinnamon appears to be associated with weight loss through a metabolism augmenting effect. Is this true? Well, let's look at some studies. This one came out 2017, a double-blind trial, quite a creative design. They brought in 116 people. They gave them 3 grams of cinnamon per day, which is about a teaspoon. But the way they did it was they didn't say, sprinkle this on your toast. What they did is they made capsules that either had cinnamon in it or they had a dummy in it, a placebo. And so nobody knew what they were getting. But over a 16-week period, the average person lost about 7.5 pounds. Cool. All right. Now, when I read these studies, I'm always a bit of a skeptic. I think that, you know, I'll believe that that's true, but is that reproducible? Will we see it a lot? Was it funded by the cinnamon manufacturers or whatever? So this is a meta-analysis that looks at cinnamon intake and body mass index. And this will not be on the test. Don't worry too much about the details, but what I'm showing you is every line is a study. And in each study, if the little box that you see that summarizes the results, if it were smack on that solid 0 line in the center, if that's where it was, that means nothing really happened. But if it's a little bit to the left, that means you saw a weight loss. If it's a lot to the left, you saw more weight loss. And so you see varying results and a certain amount of variability in all of these studies. But then you put it all together, and then you come up with a summary statistic. And it looks like you see a consistent and overall statistically significant effect. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for consistency and also mechanism. So, all right, let's say it's real. But it's not just cinnamon. Let's say you take some green peppers. You're at the Mexican restaurant. You had a little bit too much in the way of jalapenos on your burrito. The capsaicinoids that make it spicy also seem to affect metabolism. They may reduce appetite a little bit, but they seem to increase calorie burning speed, whether they are fresh or pickled. By the way, the bell peppers, nice crunch, no effect. They will not affect your calorie burning speed. Okay, so anyhow, I got excited about these, what I'm going to call power foods. And so I worked with Dustin Harder and Lindsay S. Nixon, who are brilliant recipe developers and terrific in their own right. And so what they did was work with me to come up with recipes that anybody can make. And so Dustin came up with this cinnamon blueberry syrup. And it's really, really easy. And Lindsay came up, I'm going to show you the recipes in a minute. Lindsay came up with a French toast, which is light, delicious. It's not all glopped up like your grandma's French toast. And so you're taking the cinnamon, which I'm going to call a power food, and you're taking the blueberries, another power food. You're putting together, and America's favorite breakfast is a slimming breakfast. Let's say yes. That's our goal. Okay, here's this blueberry syrup. Very easy. Blueberries, vanilla extract, cinnamon, little maple syrup. Blend it up, simple, okay? Here's the French toast. I mean, really, really, really easy. Anybody can do this. If you have friends coming over, you're going to give them an impressive Sunday brunch. Go one step further. We're going to make French toast, but let's do a couple things. Let's use a substantial bread, put a little vanilla extract in it, and add some mint leaves on top. Oh, yes, that's what you're going to do. Put a little sprinkle of confectionery sugar over the top and have little bowls of blueberries and strawberries and raspberries and blackberries so they can add extra berries. If they, we're going to make this fancy. Put some cinnamon on top. And the whole goal, the reason that I came up with the Power Foods diet is I wanted to break us out of this idea that healthful living has to be punishing, that you have to give up all the pleasures of life. We're bringing in the most pleasurable, wonderful foods of all. Okay? So, Dustin came up with this great one, triple berry sorbet. There has never been an easier thing. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. Add a banana, a little cherry or cranberry juice, and you can add a little bit of maple syrup. Blend it up really well. Put it in a glass bowl, cover it with saran wrap so the oxygen doesn't get in there. Cool it down, put it in the fridge, put it in the freezer. And it is the lightest, most delicate, delicious food using power foods for weight loss. Or here's the killer of all, the blueberry pops. All the neighbor kids want to come to your house because you're going to take blueberries, a couple bananas, a couple pears, almond milk, and lemon juice. That's it. Blend it up. Put it into ice cube trays or popsicle forms. Go to the grocery store, and in that aisle where they have the can openers and glass bowls and cupcake forms and all that stuff, that's where they keep the popsicle forms. And get them in the popsicle sticks, and you just blend these things up, blend them up really well, put them in the forms, stick them in the freezer. And when the 12-year-old kids from your neighborhood all come around, they are going to scream for these crazy blueberry pops. They are so great. And you're going to feel proud because these kids have been eating junk food all week. You are the one who gave them blueberries and banana, healthy food that you don't have to be embarrassed for. Give them a couple extra, and hopefully they won't melt before they get home so their parents can see what a wonderful person you are. Okay, so this is the book, The Power Foods Diet. This just came out about, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And it is really cool. I have to say, when you open it up, it has such beautiful food photography that Dustin did, great recipes, inspiring stories, and it'll just make you think like, this is the way to do it. I have to say, Dustin's pictures are sort of 2 steps away from food porn. They're just so engaging and so cool. So thank you for that. All right, let's walk through it. When you buy blueberries, do not go to the store and just buy the first box of blueberries you see. Do not do that. Look at them. If they are shriveled up, if they are moldy, don't buy it. You want to get ones that are big and plump and they are deep blue. Secondly, get organic. Yes, I mean this. You don't have to get organic everything. If you get an organic banana, that's a good idea, but even the conventional bananas, let's say there's pesticides on the outside, you're going to peel it. You're going to throw that peel away. So doesn't matter so much. You get an orange, pesticide treated, so what? You throw the orange peel away. But I am pretty sure that you are not going to peel your blueberries. So buy them organic. Yes, they will cost more, noticeably more. However, when you see the foods that we're offering, these are plant-based foods. And our research team recently discovered that when people follow a plant-based diet, they do spend more on vegetables, more on fruits, more on beans and grains, but less or none on cheese and meat. And the average person saves about 16% on their food bills, which is about $500 savings per person per year. So cool. For a family of 4, you just saved up enough for a vacation. Or maybe a couple of vacations. Cool. All right. Store the blueberries in the refrigerator. Don't leave them on your countertop. They like cold temperatures. Do not wash them.